Hi, everyone. Welcome back. We're really happy you're here with us today.
Hello, friends. It's great to be here again, talking, listening, and learning English together.
If you're new here, I'm Sara.
And I'm Paul. On this channel, we help you learn real, everyday English, the kind people actually use in daily life.
Yes, not textbook English, not complicated explanations, but natural English you can understand and use.
And before we start, if you enjoy learning with us, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us and it helps you keep learning step by step with us.
Okay, today's topic is something many learners hear, but don't always feel comfortable using.
Yes. Today we're talking about could have and could have been.
These expressions are very common in real conversations.
But they can feel confusing at first.
So today we're going to talk about them slowly, naturally, and with real-life situations. Paul, let me ask you something.
Okay.
Did you ever miss a train or a bus?
Oh, yes. Many times.
So you arrived at the station and the train was already gone?
Exactly.
Then you might say, I could have caught the train if I left earlier.
Ah, that's a perfect example.
Let's slow down and feel the meaning.
When you say I could have caught the train, you're talking about the past.
Something was possible.
But it didn't happen.
Yes. The chance was there, but you didn't take it.
Maybe you were late, or
Maybe you were slow.
maybe you stayed in bed too long.
That happens to me sometimes.
Same here.
So could have is often about a past possibility. Something that was possible, but didn't happen.
Let's try another example.
Yesterday, I didn't study English, but I had time, so I can say, I could have studied yesterday.
Yes, you had the time. It was possible, but you didn't do it.
Now let's make it more emotional. I could have called my friend. I could have helped you. I could have finished the work.
All of these talk about something possible in the past.
But it didn't happen.
Sara, let me ask you something. Have you ever ordered food and then saw a better dish later?
Oh yes, that happens every time.
Then you might say, I could have ordered the pasta.
Exactly. You see the better option after you choose.
That's a very real-life situation.
If you're listening right now, this is something people say often. I could have chosen that. I could have bought that. I could have gone there. It's about past choices.
Now let's talk about a feeling that often comes with could have. Regret.
Yes. Sometimes when we use could have, we feel a little sorry. For example, I could have studied more. I could have gone to bed earlier. I could have saved more money.
That one is very true for me.
Yes, many people say that.
Now here's something important.
Sometimes learners think this is difficult grammar.
But in real life, people use it naturally.
They don't think about rules and
They just think it was possible, but I didn't do it. That's the feeling.
let's try a short conversation. I'm so tired today.
Why?
I went to bed at 2 a.m.
You could have gone to bed earlier
Very natural.
and noticed something.
We're not blaming.
We're just talking about a different possibility.
Now let's talk to our listeners for a moment.
If you're listening and thinking, this is new, don't worry.
You don't need to use it perfectly today.
Just listen.
Just notice.
The more you hear could have, the more natural it will feel. Sara, let's try another real-life example.
Okay. Yesterday was sunny, but I stayed home.
So I can say,
I could have gone for a walk.
yes.
Or I could have gone outside. I could have met a friend.
All past possibilities.
Now let's make it more personal. Paul, what's something you could have done yesterday?
I could have exercised, but I didn't.
What did you do instead?
I watched videos for 2 hours. Research, of course.
Of course, very important research.
Very important.
And this is how people really talk. Simple sentences, real situations, real feelings. Okay, now we're going to move slowly into could have been. This one is very similar, but the feeling is a little different.
We use it to talk about a situation or condition in the past.
This is very similar to could have, but we use it when we talk about a situation, a result, or how something was. Let's start with a simple example. Paul, imagine you had a test yesterday,
Okay.
and you didn't study very much, but the test was easy. Then you might say, it could have been difficult, but it was easy.
Yes, that's a good example.
So here could have been means. There was a possibility the situation was uncertain, but the result was different.
Let's try another one.
Yesterday, the weather looked bad.
Dark clouds, strong wind, but it didn't rain.
So we say, it could have been a rainy day, but it stayed sunny. That's a very natural sentence.
If you're listening right now, notice the feeling. We are talking about a possible situation in the past, but it didn't happen. Now let's make it more personal. Sarah, have you ever been late for a meeting?
Yes, once.
Were you very late?
No, only 5 minutes.
Then you could say, I was lucky. It could have been much worse.
Yes, that's something people say a lot.
It could have been worse is a very common expression. People use it after a problem. For example, I missed the bus, but the next one came quickly. It could have been worse. Or, I dropped my phone, but it didn't break. It could have been worse.
Paul, did something like this ever happen to you?
Yes. Last week, I almost forgot an important meeting.
Almost?
Yes, I remembered 5 minutes before.
That's lucky.
Very lucky.
It could have been a disaster.
Yes, and my boss would not be happy.
Now let's slow down and compare.
Could have action. I could have called. I could have gone. Could have been. Situation or result, it could have been worse. It could have been difficult. It could have been a problem. You don't need to remember this as a rule. Just feel the difference. Action versus situation.
Now let's talk about something learners often feel. Sometimes they think, this is too complicated. But in real life, people use very simple patterns. For example, it could have been better.
Very common.
People say this about work, food, movies trips.
Sarah, let's try some examples.
Okay,
How was the restaurant?
it was okay. It could have been better.
Very natural. How was your weekend?
Good, but the weather could have been better.
Yes, that happens often.
Now, let's talk about feelings. Imagine you prepared for a presentation. You were very nervous, but it went well. Afterward, you might say, I was really worried. It could have been terrible. Or, it could have gone badly, but everything was fine.
This is how people talk about past worries.
Now let's try a small conversation.
I thought the meeting would be very stressful,
Yes, it could have been stressful.
but actually it was quite relaxed.
That's real spoken English. Short, simple, natural.
Now let's talk directly to our listeners. If you're listening and thinking, I understand a little, but not everything, that's normal. You don't need to understand 100%. Understanding the feeling is enough. Sarah, let's make it very simple. Could have. Something was possible but didn't happen. Could have been a situation was possible, but it didn't happen that way.
Exactly. And the more you hear these expressions, the more natural they will feel. Now let's make it more emotional. Paul, tell me something that could have been worse in your life.
Once I lost my wallet.
Oh no,
Yes, but someone found it and returned it.
that's lucky.
Yes, it could have been much worse.
You could have lost everything.
Exactly. And this is why people use this expression often. It helps us see the positive side. Now let's try another real-life moment.
I arrived late, but the meeting started late too.
So you can say, I was lucky. It could have been a problem. Very natural. And notice again, simple words, simple structure. That's how people really speak. All right, let's keep going. Now let's talk about how people use could have and could have been in everyday conversations. Because this is where these expressions really come alive. People use them when they talk about mistakes, choices, and different possibilities. Sarah, let me ask you something. Have you ever bought something and later thought it was a bad idea?
Oh, yes, many times.
Then you might say, I could have bought something cheaper.
Yes, or I could have waited.
That's very natural. If you're listening right now, this is something people say all the time. I could have saved money. I could have chosen better. I could have checked first. So it's about looking back and thinking about a different choice. Now let's make a short conversation.
I bought this jacket yesterday.
Do you like it?
It's okay, but I could have bought a better one.
Now, that's real spoken English. It's simple, honest, natural.
Now let's talk about work. This is where could have appears a lot. For example, I could have finished the report yesterday.
But you didn't. Maybe you were busy, maybe you were tired, maybe you watched videos instead.
That happens sometimes. Yes, and sometimes the videos are very important.
Very educational videos.
Of course. Very serious learning.
Now let's talk about another common situation, helping people. I could have helped you. I could have told you. I could have explained. Sometimes people say this when they feel a little sorry or when they realize something later.
Now let's talk about feelings, because these expressions often connect to emotions. Regret, relief, surprise. For example, I was very worried about the trip. But everything went well. It could have been stressful, but it was fine.
That's a very common structure. Sarah, let's talk about travel.
Okay.
Imagine your flight was delayed, but only for 30 minutes. And then you might say, it could have been much worse.
Yes. Maybe the flight could have been canceled.
Exactly. People use this expression to stay positive. Now let's talk about daily life problems.
I forgot my umbrella, but it didn't rain.
So you can say, I was lucky. It could have been a problem. Or, I dropped my phone, but it didn't break. It could have been worse. This expression, it could have been worse, is very common in everyday English. If you remember only one sentence today, this is a good one.
Now let's talk about conversations between friends. Imagine this. I didn't prepare for the meeting.
Really?
Yes, but the meeting was short.
You're lucky. It could have been difficult. Very natural.
Now let's talk about learners. Sometimes learners feel afraid to use these expressions. They think, what if I make a mistake? But here's the important thing. Even if you say, I could do it yesterday, people will still understand you.
Your message is clear, and little by little you will start using, I could have done it. Fluency grows step by step, not all at once. Sarah, do you remember when these expressions started to feel natural for you?
Yes. When I heard them many times in conversations, not in grammar books, in real situations.
That's the key. Listening creates familiarity. Familiarity creates confidence. Now let's make a short emotional example.
I was nervous before my presentation.
Why?
I thought it would be a disaster, but it went well.
That's great.
Yes, it could have been terrible, but it wasn't.
This is how people talk about past fears.
Now let's talk about something funny. Paul, tell me something small that could have been a disaster.
This morning, I almost made coffee without water.
Oh no,
Yes, I put the coffee, but no water.
What happened?
I noticed just in time.
Good.
Because that could have been very bad coffee.
Very bad and very sad.
And this is how these expressions fit into daily life. Not formal, not complicated, and just natural reactions.
If you're listening right now, don't try to memorize everything. Just notice the feeling. Past possibility, different result, relief, regret, or reflection. That's enough.
Now let's bring everything together and finish with a calm review and some simple ways to start using these expressions in your daily English. All right, let's finish our conversation together. Now let's review everything slowly and simply, just like people speak in real life. Because the goal is not to remember rules. The goal is to feel comfortable using these expressions when you talk.
Let's start with could have. Paul, give us a simple example.
Sure. I could have studied yesterday. That means it was possible, but I didn't do it.
Exactly.
Here are some very natural examples. I could have called you. I could have gone earlier. I could have finished the work. I could have saved more money. These are things that were possible in the past, but they didn't happen. Now let's talk about could have been. Sarah, can you give a simple example?
Yes. It could have been worse.
This means the situation was not good. But another situation was possible, and it was better than that. That's why this expression is very common. People use it after small problems. For example, I missed the bus, but the next one came quickly. It could have been worse. I dropped my phone, but it didn't break. It could have been worse. I arrived late, but the meeting hadn't started. It could have been worse. These are real-life sentences. You will hear them often. Now let's compare the feeling again. Could have, action. I could have gone. I could have helped. Could have been situation or result. It could have been difficult. It could have been a problem. It could have been worse. But don't worry about remembering this as a rule. Just notice the pattern. Now let's talk about something important. Many learners think this is too advanced for me. But here's the truth. You don't need to use long sentences. You can start very small.
For example, it could have been better.
Very common.
People say this about many things.
How was the movie?
It was okay. It could have been better.
How was the restaurant?
Good, but it could have been better.
Simple. Natural. Everyday English.
Paul, let's talk about daily life. What's something you could have done yesterday?
I could have gone to the gym, but I didn't.
What did you do instead?
I watched videos and ate snacks.
That sounds like a very productive day.
Yes, very productive for relaxation.
Now let's talk directly to our listeners. If you're listening right now, here's something simple you can try. At the end of your day, ask yourself, what could I have done today? Then make a simple sentence. I could have studied. I could have exercised. I could have gone to bed earlier. This kind of reflection helps the expression become natural. And if something small goes wrong, try saying, it could have been worse. That one sentence is very useful in daily life.
Sarah, how did these expressions become natural for you?
By hearing them again and again in real conversations. At first, I understood the words. Later, I started to feel the meaning.
And that's how language really works. At first you hear, then you understand, then you feel, and finally you speak.
And remember, you don't need to be perfect. If you say, I could do it yesterday, people will still understand you. Your message is clear. Confidence comes before accuracy. Fluency grows step by step.
If you're listening with us today, you're already doing something very important. You're training your ear. You're building real English, little by little.
If this episode helped you, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who is learning English too. Thank you for spending this time with us. Keep listening. Keep speaking. Keep making small mistakes.
And remember,
You're not bad at English. You're just getting better.